First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for saying how I'd choose my adoptive family over my biological one any day? When I was born, my biological family gave me up for adoption as they had no desire to be a mother and a father to me. I don't have any memory of them. And even though I've never met them in person or got to know them, I've still despised them for giving me up so easily. I grew up in an orphanage, and the children there would constantly harass and ridicule me, and it wasn't very pleasant. It took a while to find an adoptive family for me, as most people in my country prefer adopting newborn children instead of a grown-up. I was losing hope, and I've started to think that nobody would take me in, and I'd stay there forever. However, a very lovely couple met me while I was in the orphanage and seemed to like me, and I've liked them back. They were honestly so kind to me and praised me for my art that I've drew. It didn't take long for them until they finally decided they'd adopt me, and it was the happiest moment in my life. I was so glad to be part of their family. About a week ago, I've got a call from my adoptive mother saying that she had just got contacted by people who claimed to be my biological mother and father, and that they'd like to meet up with me sometime, and I've agreed. Once I've met up with them, we're talking about general stuff, but then it began to turn really awkward as they were ignoring some personal questions I've asked them. Later, they started speaking about my adoptive family. They said how they've seemed like boring people and asked me how I could even stand to be in the same room as them for a minute. My biological mother criticized the way my adoptive mother dressed, and my biological father said how my adoptive father seemed like someone I'd be ashamed to be related to, and that I'm lucky I'm actually not. The second they've said that, I've lost it. I told them that I'd choose my adoptive family over them any day and that they were cruel and horrible people who do not have the authority to say anything about them because they were the people who saw me as a burden and got rid of me. My biological mother was crying and my biological father was silent, but I couldn't care less. I put on my jacket, got out of the shop and called my adoptive father to come get me. I think I'm in the right here, but a part of me is saying that I'm the a-hole in this situation. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole. They should be grateful that you are loved and taken care of. Not an a-hole. They're complaining about the pettiest of things. OP's adoptive family were there in his life when he needed them. His bio parents came in when the hard work had been done and have the hall to be insulting. He made the right decision. Not an a-hole. They decided after abandoning you they get the right to ask to meet you, ignore your questions, and insult the people who have cared for you? Screw your bio parents. They're actually the worst. They were given an opportunity to reconnect with you and they spat on it by insulting your real parents. You did the right thing putting them in their place. Not an a-hole, not even a little bit. Your birth parents, however, are absolutely the a-holes. Insulting your adoptive, real supportive parents was a manipulative power move and in no way acceptable. Good for you for standing up for them. You're a damn good person. Not an a-hole. People give children up for lots of reasons, and I wouldn't fault them for choosing to give you up when they couldn't take care of you themselves. But your bio parents get no sympathy from me. Not because they gave you up, but because of how they spoke about the people who took you in. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for threatening a restraining order against my daughter's mother? Okay, so some background information. My 23 male, daughter's mother, 22 female, let's call her Emily, got pregnant when she was 16, I was 17. Emily was very against abortion, so despite me telling her I was not ready to be a father, she was adamant to keep it and give it up for adoption, which is also what her parents, who were furious at me, wanted her to do. I was not okay with this at all. Having grown up in the foster system myself, I did not want my kid to go through the same thing. Eventually, we decided that she would give birth and then relinquish full custody to me, who would raise the baby, despite my prior hesitation. Fast forward to current day, our daughter, Rose, has started school, although this year has been a mess with school, and I live with my boyfriend, Adam, 24 male. I love them both to the ends of the world, and I'm very happy with our little family. We are also in government support payments since we don't make a lot of money. Now on to the actual issue. A couple of months ago, I received a Facebook message from Emily. She said she wanted to check in and see how Rose was doing. I found this a bit odd, since she hadn't shown any interest in her at all, but I obliged and told her that she was doing well and was happy. She then started sending me more messages over the next few weeks asking questions about Rose, like where she went to school, how she behaved, etc. I didn't tell her the school she attends, since I was starting to get suspicious that she had an ulterior motive, and my suspicions were confirmed when she asked to come visit her. I said no, because I felt that Emily didn't truly care about Rose, and I don't trust her around my kid. I had already decided that if Rose wanted to meet her when she was old enough, that would be fine, but not when she was so young. Anyway, Emily got really angry when I said no, saying that it was her child and she had a right to see her. She started saying that I was a horrible father, abusive, and that I was forcing our daughter to only have male paternal figures and that it would damage her. I eventually blocked her, but that only made it worse when 2 days ago, she showed up at our unit, unannounced, and demanded to be let in and see Rose. I wasn't home, but Adam was there with our daughter, and he told her to leave or he would call the cops. When he told me what happened, I was freaked out, since I don't know how she found our address, and I feel really anxious. Emily then sent me more messages from a new Facebook account, and I told her that if she didn't stop, I would seek a restraining order against her. This is where I'm wondering if I'm overreacting about this whole issue. My boyfriend agrees with me and so does his family, but some of our friends are saying that I'm just being paranoid, and that it's just my anxiety and that threatening her with a restraining order is too harsh. But I don't understand why Emily is so interested all of a sudden, and it makes me uneasy. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Why now? Because 5 years old are way less work than infants/toddlers. She isn't interested in being a parent, because if she were, she'd be taking the legal route. She wants to get involved now for the fun stuff. Her behavior appears unstable and you have a family to protect. Get the restraining order. Exactly this. There is a reason she isn't going through the legal system. She wants to be in the daughter's life for the fun parts and then give her back when things get hard. She doesn't want the law saying she's responsible for taking care of this child. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Protect you and your family. Someone who wants a healthy relationship doesn't go about it in such an unhealthy way. She found your address without you giving it to her. To me, that's grounds enough to start the legal process of getting a restraining order. Make sure all legal paperwork regarding custody is in order, though. If the two of you didn't legally fill out the paperwork when Rose was born, it may give Emily more of a leg to stand on. Good luck, Opie. Not the a-hole. Threatening a restraining order is not too harsh. Actually, getting a restraining order is not too harsh either. You were not paranoid. She actually showed up at your house. It was fine for her to check in her daughter's health and see how she was doing, even ask if she could meet her. It was also fine for you to decline. She gave up her parental rights. You were on exactly the right track. When your daughter is old enough and wants to meet her mother, a meeting can be arranged then. Get the restraining order immediately. If you haven't already, save every message and communication you guys have had since you first reached out. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to pay an exact replacement for something I broke again? Hello. I, male 20, feel justified in my response, but my dad does not. My younger brother and my mother are backing me up. Our home has black carpeting. It is very difficult to see black items on it, and that has always been the case. My father's glasses are black. He has an awful habit of leaving them on the ground, where they are frequently stepped on. I've broken them 5 times already. My mother 3 times. My brother about 7 or 8. My father a couple of times. They've also been broken by a friend of mine who came to visit, and once one of my brother's friends. They're always on the ground. He leaves them at most random of places, until... Today, I got off the couch and there was a cracking sound. I looked down, and it's my dad's glasses. Again. So I picked them up and let him know. He looks at them, and he reckons that they're too broken to be fixed this time around, and asks me to pay for replacement. I'm refusing. Firstly, I don't have the income for buying an exact replacement. His frames were on the expensive side. Secondly, and more importantly, although I'm the one who broke them, I think it is his responsibility. At some point, to me, if your glasses keep getting broken because you leave them on the ground, the solution isn't to bill. The solution is to stop leaving them on the ground. Like there was a week where they were broken every other day. My reasoning is probably a-hole, because ultimately, at the end of the day, I am the one who broke them, and my dad sure thinks so. So, Reddit, Am I the a-hole? Should I suck it up and just get him the glasses? Edit. Hey, I appreciate all the responses, but please stop implying my dad's being malicious or our family dynamic is unhealthy. It's not. I know him. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. The ground is meant to be stepped on. If you put your things on the floor, in a place where it's hard to see even when people know that you have a habit of doing so, you are condemning your stuff to be stepped on. The biggest piece of evidence that Opie is not an a-hole is that his glasses have been broken 10 plus times by 3 plus different people. If it was just Opie once or twice, that's one thing, but the father really needs to get his stuff together in his case. Nope, not the a-hole. Nuclear option, get yourself a nice pair of thick sole house slippers. Then start scattering black Legos on the carpet. Maybe then he'll get the hint about how hard it is to see stuff on the carpet. Other less nuclear option, every time you enter the room, ask your dad if his glasses are on his face. If not, drop down on your knees and crawl across the ground looking for them. Once you find them, loudly proclaim, "Got it." Then hand them to him and tell him how lucky he is to have a great child like you who looks after him when he's careless. Not the a-hole. I don't care what color your carpeting is. You do not leave glasses on the ground. Your dad is refusing to take responsibility for his mistake, and that's his problem, not yours. Seriously, I get anxious leaving my glasses anywhere other than my face or their case. I can't imagine just casually leaving them on the floor. If someone doesn't step on them, one of my cats will sit on them. And now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents that while I appreciate my hand-me-downs, I would really like some new clothes for once? I'm 16 female, the youngest of 10, 36 female, 34 female, 31 male, 30 female, 29 female, 27 female, 24 male, 24 female, 23 male. My parents had me when they were in their late 40s, thinking it wouldn't happen, but whoops. My parents have been saving clothes for when my siblings started having kids. But since I happened, I got most of them. Every piece of clothing I've ever been given off my parents and most family members, since they have 4 plus kids each, Mom was one of 8 and Dad was one of 17, give me hand-me-downs too. The only thing that's ever bought new for me is underwear and shoes. I've not gotten brand new clothes in nearly 2 years now. I'm an awful lot smaller than all of my siblings and most of my family members, 4'9" and a UK size 4, so I normally fit in clothes they would have at 10 or 11, so I get them instead of clothes I'd actually like to wear. I was speaking to some of my siblings about this pre-lockdown, and they all said they never got as many hand-me-downs as I do. I just kind of assume since my parents are old, despite being quite well off, are tired of clothes shopping business, so they just give me old clothes instead. On Monday, my mom handed me a bag of clothes and said to go through it and see what I liked. I asked her if when retail shops are open again, could we go shopping for a few bits that I would really like and would be age appropriate. She asked what was wrong with hand-me-downs, and I said that while I appreciate them, I would like new clothes that are just mine. She didn't say anything after that, but she looked kind of annoyed. She's been kind of quiet since then. I'm starting to think that maybe I came across as entitled or bratty. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Just wow. You're a teenager, of course you'd want the latest clothes. Clothes now aren't that pricey. Go to Zara and H&M. Honestly, just ask you can just online shop with her. What is wrong with your mother? If you want kids, be willing to pay for them in all ways. In my country, they love to open shops and restaurants of international brands and make them more luxurious. For this reason, this comment hurts my soul, because Zara is really expensive here. Not the a-hole. My god, did they not have TV for entertainment? If you said it like you wrote it, you didn't come off as entitled or bratty. Seriously, it sounded like a reasonable request that was respectfully worded. Not the a-hole. You're 16, and you deserve to dress like one. There's nothing wrong with hand-me-downs, but if they're really expecting you to wear children's clothes just because you fit them, they're being ridiculously stingy, and honestly kind of rude. They're ignoring the fact that you're aging/maturing even if you're not growing anymore. If your parents won't do it, then ask your older siblings or other relatives, as a birthday or holiday gift, to take you. Even thrift and second-hand stores, as a last resort in case they tell you new ones are too expensive, almost always have clothes for teenagers. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.